Hey, what's up guys, it's Sal here, and this is my unboxing and review of the Oppo Reno 2F. I've made my video about the Oppo Reno 2, which you can find with the link in the description. However, this video is all about the Reno 2F, which is kind of like the lesser companion to the Reno 2. The Reno 2 goes for 179k, while the Reno 2F goes for 129k, so there's a 50k difference between them. It's a pop-up camera just like the Reno 2, only that it's not shark fin. It's the one that resembles the F11 Pro or the K20 Pro. Anyway, in this video I'm going to be sharing the good things I liked and the things I didn't like, you know, the pros and cons. I have my timestamps in the description and pinned comments, so you can skip ahead to different sections of this video to find out what you want quickly. Without further ado, let's get to the video. Just like the box of the Reno 2F, the Reno 2 maintains the same exact gradient finish to elements around it with its own twist and of course name brand. It's a long box, quite tall, and we'll get to see what's inside and what makes it so tall. When we take the cover out of the box, we have another mini box where we have the quick guide, the safety guide, and I recommend you peruse them. Then underneath that is the device itself with a plastic wrap. We'll take that out and we'll keep it to the side for now. Removing the thick paper panel, we reveal the accessories that the Reno 2F comes with. It's a soft case. It's thicker than most cases I've seen. It's just like the Reno 2's leather case, although this is silicone. It has a raised edge on all four corners, so when you place the phone down on a table, it doesn't scratch the screen. It's something I mentioned in the previous video. Right below it is where we get the rest of the accessories besides the case, and the reason why the box is so tall. We get a 20-watt VOOC 3.0 flash fast charger, a thick charging cable which actually matters with regards to charging speeds, and I'll be talking much about this later in the video. We get the SIM ejector tool and the nicely packed headphones. And that's it in terms of what's in the box, and we'll get to the Reno 2 itself. We see the 48 megapixel camera, night mode, VOOC 3.0 charging, 128 GB of storage, 8 GB of RAM. Same configuration on the bigger brother that's the Reno 2 I've reviewed earlier, except that the Reno 2 has a 256 GB storage option, which I had. When we take the wrap off the Reno 2F, we're greeted with that 6.5-inch nice slab of Gorilla Glass 5. Not Gorilla Glass slicks like the Reno 2. And taking the sticker off the back of the Reno 2F, we're greeted with a very sleek back. I really like the crystallized gradient look that the device has, and it has a similarly raised ball like the Reno 2, because I mentioned in the Reno 2 that the back is flush. The Reno 2F's back is flush as well with that Gorilla Glass 5 protection. This ball will at least help it not get scratched on a flat surface. Many companies aren't doing this, and I think it's a really good design choice by Oppo. Up top, we have the part where we get the pop-up camera, a microphone to the right of it. That's when the device is facing towards you. Let me quickly touch on the pop-up camera. It's a 60 megapixel f2.0 camera, same thing you get with the Reno 2 pretty much, but different processing. The pop-up camera has a default purple color out the box, which is cool, but you also get to choose color options that you want. In the additional settings, you can change colors and you get to choose up to 12 preset colors. As you can see, you can select which ones you want and you can randomize it by making it a different color each time you pop up the camera or each time it's triggered, and you could just turn it off, but we both know there's no fun in that. It becomes transparent and a lot of colors, of course, can easily pass through, and it will be cool. It could be a cool look you may be going for. The pop-up camera also makes sounds just like the Reno 2. You can choose to turn it off, and when it's turned on, you choose between three interesting sounds: technology, mechanical, and musical. On the right side, we've got the power button with a dip of green color on it and the SIM and micro SD card slot. It's a dual nano SIM slot with a separate slot for your SD card, which is expandable to 256 gigabytes, just like the Reno 2. Unlike the Reno 2, however, this has a better advantage for those who want to use dual SIMs and have a slot for an SD card, whereas the Reno 2 has a hybrid SIM slot, so you're sort of handicapped there. It's just the volume rockers on the left in that aluminum frame, and the bottom of the device is pretty much flat. A familiar Oppo design that we've seen, and we have a headphone jack, microphone port beside it, USB-C transfer and charging ports, and the speaker grill. On the back, again, we meet the nice shimmering look of the Reno 2F. This color is what Oppo calls the sky white color, and we have a second color option called the lake green. From the renders, they actually look very good. As far as the camera setup, from top to the bottom, we get the 8 megapixel ultra wide, we get the 48 megapixel sensor, then we get the 2 megapixel black and white sensor, and we have another 2 megapixel depth sensor. Beside that is the flash and the Oppo branding plus a Designed by Reno tagline, and I like how it encompasses the camera. I like the design of it quite a lot, as well as the Reno 2. Of course, as we've seen on the body, there is no fingerprint reader, and that's because it's an in-display fingerprint reader. It took 1 minute and 24 seconds to set up the Reno 2 with the fingerprint, and we're ushered into ColorOS 6, which is a very interesting outlook. We're greeted with that all-round AMOLED 6.5-inch panel. Yes, the Oppo Reno 2F is a 6.5-inch AMOLED panel with a screen resolution of 1080 by 2340, a 19.5 by 9 aspect ratio display, 85.1% screen to body ratio, 394 ppi, and is enclosed in that Gorilla Glass 5 panel. As I mentioned in the Reno 2 review, the bottom bezel of the Reno 2F is noticeably bigger than the Reno 2. The Reno 2F comes with a lot of features that the Reno 2 comes with internally from ColorOS 6, and if you want to know all about that, I highly recommend you check out my Reno 2 video and use the timestamp to skip to the display and features section of that video. I explained everything in detail there. That being said, unlike the Reno 2, you can't stream HDR videos on the Reno 2F. However, you get up to 1080p at 60 fps for streaming. Part of it is the processor. Now, unlike the Reno 2 as well, we have 3 microphones. The Reno 2F has 2, but there's still a dedicated noise cancelling mic. Streaming content was also interesting because it's a single speaker and you can easily eliminate the sound. That being said, I did my usual tests for the sound quality of the microphone and the speaker quality. Here is how that turned out. Alright guys, so this is the sound quality from the Oppo Reno 2F. I'm holding it the same way I would hold it when I'm making a phone call. Let me know what you think about this microphone's quality in the comment section below. The sound came out a bit too thin, not much low end, and similar to the Reno 2, the microphone quality was also on par. It's also got the Dolby Atmos feature, which I went into detail in the Reno 2 review as well. Pretty much a bump in surround sound quality, left to right, that sort of thing. Processor wise, the Reno 2F was a bit down in my opinion. Oppo opts for the Mediatek Helio P70, which is a 12 nanometer chipset, clocked at an average of 2.05 gigahertz compared to 8 nanometers, the 730G on the Reno 2. This is why we probably don't have HDR here. We would normally get some interesting stuff. My overall day-to-day use was fine, like everyday smartphone features. It was very good for me. The Reno 2F I have here is a 128GB model with 8 gigs of RAM. It's the only option for this device. It comes for $129K or $358, and it's an interesting category. When it comes to gaming graphics, for PUBG, which is the benchmark it was a default medium, but Reno 2 was a default high with high dynamic range. Gaming didn't take too much battery. Of course, it's similar to the Reno 2 a bit, although I did notice that the battery didn't deplete as fast when it was in game space, and after 30 minutes of gaming I lost 7% on here. They are both 4000 mAh batteries, and it's kind of a very similar story to how they both end. As I mentioned earlier, we've got a 20-watt charger in the box, and the Reno 2F charges fast. Fun fact, or should I say spoiler alert, it charges 6 minutes faster than the Reno 2, which is supposed to be the elder sibling. The Reno 2F takes 1 hour and 30 minutes to get from 0 to 100%, and here is how the breakdown goes. In 30 minutes it goes from 0 to 51%, in another 30 minutes it goes from 51 to 89%, then the last 30 minutes takes it up to 100%. So yeah, from 0 to 100% in an hour and 30 minutes. Slightly faster than the Reno 2. One thing I noted was when I enrolled for Face Unlock, it enrolled super fast, and also unlocking the device just takes a tiny fraction of a second. It's bearable for the most part. On the fingerprint reader though, it's somewhat fast as well. We've got Bluetooth 4.2 compared to Bluetooth 5.0, and we may not be able to use the wireless audio sharing feature. Oppo still maintains their simplicity with the newer ColorOS 6 devices, and it shows in the camera app. You get 3 options in video, portrait, and photo mode. This is the same for the front and back cameras, and you get extra features that can be found in the hamburger menu. Compared to the 20x zoom on the Reno 2, the maximum level of the Reno 2F is 10x. You'll have the normal 5x to 1x zoom. Maximum camera resolution for the Reno 2F is 1080p or 720p at 30 fps, no 60 fps like the Reno 2. And there's no telephoto lens on the Reno 2F, and you see how it works shortly. Portrait mode follows suit of the Reno 2. It was too sharp on the edge, not reminiscent of what normal portrait mode would look like. Indoor selfies were very colorful, just like the Reno 2. I really liked it, and dare I say outdoor selfies may even be better than the Reno 2 on the Reno 2F here with beauty filter turned off. When you compare it to the 48 megapixel shots that the back camera has, it's significantly larger and sharper. For context again, just like I explained in my Reno 2 review, images are 2 times larger when it comes to resolution, which is 3000 by 4000 compared to 6000 by 8000, and a larger file size from 2 to 3 MB to 9 to 10 megabytes in 48 megapixels. What you'll mostly get is sharpness in large sizes, and it's mainly just a bit of zoom quality. When you post on social media, because of social media compressions, you may not be able to tell the difference. Comparing the 48 megapixel shots again to normal shots when it comes to scenes, the shots are very detailed, almost looks like a version of HDR shots. It's super crisp either way, although you may be able to see some over sharpness going on with the normal shots. The 48 megapixel shots are still larger and packing more pixels. Also, it shows in the grains and how the sharpness keeps that detail. If you look at the viewfinder, the Reno 2F does a really good job of dictating scenes and adjusting the colors and contrast to fit it very well. This leads me to the macro options of the Reno 2F and the Reno 2. I like the natural portrait that it has, and around it, the reds and greens pop out with the help of software. It separates the foreground from the background well. Maybe because the plant has straight edges and I'm not bothered about it, but when it comes to humans, cutting off the edge and making a portrait mode like that is something I didn't like. When it comes to the zoom levels, I almost couldn't tell the difference between the Reno 2F and the Reno 2. I like the consistency of the colors in the coolness from all levels. From the 1X, there is no chromatic aberration or any high noise profile, and the same goes for the 2X lens. However, the 5X zoom introduces some level of noise, but it's not unbearable. Looking at it again with the ultra wide lens, we can see this happen where there's some slight warmness in the colors and it being cooler or bluer. Is there even a word called bluer? One thing I noticed in general with regards to the rest of the zoom levels, especially with the Reno 2F, is the mosaic effect that latches onto it in the higher zoom range. This is because the camera is trying to over sharpen things. As you saw in the 5X zoom of the portrait and the building, it doesn't have a native telephoto lens like the Reno 2. This makes it too sharp. When it comes to the night mode, the images are pretty much the opposite of the Reno 2 and the Reno 2F. On the 2F, images are softer compared to the normal mode versions. You can't shoot in 4K, and when you're shooting towards the sun or against the sun, there's a bit of desaturation in the colors, but it has some form of fair stabilization. Hey, what's up guys? So this is the front-facing camera video quality of the Oppo Reno 2F. It's a 16 megapixel pop-up selfie camera, and it shoots at 1080p at 30 fps, just like the Oppo Reno 2. But from what I can tell, the exposure on the back is quite a little bit harsher than that of the Reno 2. It's not as balanced as the Reno 2. But let me know what you guys think about the front-facing camera's video quality as well as the sound quality in the comment section below. That's it for my review of the Reno 2F. I highly recommend you check out the Reno 2's review. That being said, the Reno 2 and 2F are pretty great phones. I like the Reno 2 more personally. However, the Reno 2F has some more potentials. It's 50,000 naira cheaper than the Reno 2 at 179k compared to 129k for $358. But the zoom shots were a bit of the downside for me, and maybe the lower processor, 12 nanometers versus 8 nanometers. If you see my Reno 2 review, which one would you pick between this and that? Do hit that like button if you enjoyed this video, and subscribe if you haven't already, and turn on notifications so you'll be the first to know when I post a new video. Also guys, make sure you check out my social media handles displayed right here. Thanks for watching, and I'll talk to you guys in the next one.